The Super Mario Bros. Any percent world record is on the path to perfection. Every time someone lowers the record, they come ever so closer to tying the tool-assisted speedrun. And just recently, Niftski saved 4 entire frames in the iconic speedrun. This is a big deal, as the run only had 22 frames left to save, so Niftski saved almost 20% of the remaining frames in a single run, and the insane thing is, he could have saved more. What's even more crazy is that he had only been grinding for 2 weeks, with over a dozen attempts getting deep into the run. And today, we'll be looking at his grind leading up to the record, how he managed to save so many frames, and what remains to be saved in the quest to perfect this almost 40-year-old game. Niftski's grind started on Christmas Eve of 2024, and it had an explosive start, as just an hour and a half into the stream, he had a run that was into 8-2.
That was so close! What, bro? Come on! Come on, dude! First day! Second run to 4-2. Come on, bro! No, it doesn't like me! Come on, baby! Oh my god!
If you couldn't tell from his reaction, this didn't even faze him and only indicated good things to come. In fact, his very next run would get back to 8-2, once again tied with the TAS.
I can't focus when this just happened back to back. That's a YouTube upload back to back to 8-2! How, bro? How?
This was the first time in history someone had gotten back-to-back runs this deep tied with the TAS, and Niftski wasn't even in the second hour of his grind. Just getting a run to 8-2 isn't easy, as there are 3 flagpole glitches, the wall clip in 1-2, the wrong warp in 4-2, and the warp pipe rooms that require incredibly tight movement to execute. All of this needs to go correctly just to get back to 8-2, and Niftski remarkably died in the same spot 2 runs in a row. Looking at his previous world records, we see something incredible. Of his last 5 records, they were set on his first or second run getting to 8-4, meaning when Niftski gets deep in a run, there's likely a record around the corner. But this grind would be an anomaly. Over the next 2 weeks, he had 11 runs make it to 8-3 before they died, but even more amazing than that, he had 9 runs get to 8-4 before they met the same fate. Something about this grind was different, as his previous pattern of setting a record after getting a couple runs to 8-4 wasn't holding true this time. Which brings us to January 9th of 2025. During this stream, he didn't get a run to World 8 until almost an hour into attempts, and the first he did get died to the bullet bill glitch where he missed the optimal setup.
Poor framer. I had it. All I needed was to jump a frame low. That was it.
However, just 10 minutes later, he had a run make it into 8-4. While this was unfortunate, barely another 10 minutes would pass before he had another run on pace, but disaster struck at the end of 8-3. "15 minutes after this, Niftski had another run make it to World 8, except this time the fast excel at the beginning went completely wrong, costing him another run.
That should have been it. It felt good too.
While this appeared to be demoralizing, it was anything but, as Niftski was routinely getting runs to World 8 about every 10 minutes. But over the next hour, he wouldn't get a single run beyond 4-2. The difficult setup for the wrong warp seemed to have his number. That is, until he was 2 hours and 40 minutes into the stream. When he finally got on the run, one of the most insane things that can happen did happen in the very first level of the game. 1-1 only has a single trick that needs to be performed, and it's the flagpole glitch, which may look simple on the surface, but under the hood, it's actually quite complex. To set up the flagpole glitch in 1-1, you typically want to jump from the first pixel of this block, as that gets your subpixel set to D70. All that you need to know about subpixels are that they are units smaller than pixels, and that your subpixel position matters for the flagpole glitch. In this run, Niftski didn't jump from the first pixel of the block. Instead, he jumped from the second, which sets your subpixel to FDO, which kills the flagpole glitch and the run, unless you can hit a backup strat on the fly. By releasing the A button framed perfectly just before the apex of your jump, your subpixel gets set to D50, which is a safe subpixel to complete the flagpole glitch on, and amazingly, Niftski pulls this off to save the run.
FDO. That's how you know it's the end of the session consistency. Remember the believers. Guys, I'm trying, bro. I'm really trying.
The other flagpole glitches are executed flawlessly, and going into 8-2, where he previously lost back-to-back runs, he nails the pipe jump, avoiding the piranha plant, and is now tied with the TAS, arriving in 8-3, where after a flagpole glitch, he's in 8-4, the only level in the game where frames can be saved. To have a chance at improving the record, runners need to play perfectly until the final level, where there are a total of 22 frames left to save. And if you want an idea of how stressful it is to have a run on pace make it to 8-4, just look at Niftski's heart rate. It's equivalent to someone doing strenuous cardio exercise, and he hasn't even broken a sweat. In the very first room of 8-4, he hits a trick called a fast excel, which requires some very intricate button presses to perform. This is one of the tricks he saves frames with, and we'll come back to it in a bit, because he has more tough setups to hit before the end of the run. In the second room, he needs to hit a wall jump, except he's using a setup that's harder because it can save a frame, and he nails it, so all that's left is the turnaround room, water section, and Bowser fight. Depending on when you arrive at Bowser, the pattern he gives you will be different, and while Niftski has all of the patterns memorized, he's not exactly sure which one he'll get due to the pressure of being on pace.
Bowser, please. I don't know what it is. 8H. Oh my god! Yes! Yes! It's over! It's over! It's finally over! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I did it! I did it! I did it! I did it! Oh, dude! Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Yes, baby! Come on! Come on, dude! Come on, dude! Oh my god! 454 at 565! 454 at 565! What is my heart rate, dude? Oh my god! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Come on! Oh my god!
With that, he's just lowered the record by 4 frames and pushed the game that much closer to perfection. And notably, it's Niftski's 4th record in a row and the 6th time he's improved the world record. And with the record safely lowered, let's go back and analyze where he saved time. As previously mentioned, all of the time saved for the record is in 8-4, and that's because of frame rules. When Mario reaches the end of a stage, the function that checks if he's completed a level only checks for it every 21 frames. So if you reach the end 10 frames into a frame rule, you'll need to wait 11 frames before Mario moves to the exit. This means that time saves are only worth implementing in a run if they save more than 21 frames collectively, as anything less will have you wait for the frame rule anyway, except in 8-4. Because time for the run ends when you touch the axe and defeat Bowser, there isn't a frame rule to worry about, so any individual frames you save in this level matter towards your final time. For Niftski's run, there were 2 places he was using strats to save time in 8-4, the start of the first room and on the wall jump into the pipe. The very first action he takes when arriving in 8-4 is a fast excel, which is a movement technique where you reach top speed faster than holding B and pressing right. When Mario is facing in the opposite direction of what you want him to go, he moves slightly faster. So by pressing these 5 frame perfect inputs, left, then nothing, then right plus A, then releasing A, you'll get Mario up to speed faster than normal. However, Niftski does something a bit different in his 8-4. If done correctly, the fast excel at the start of the level will save 5 frames, but Niftski presses a slightly different combination of buttons, which loses a frame over the faster method, so he saves 4 frames instead of 5. In room 2, where he needs to perform a wall jump, he goes for a setup that's slightly harder than normal so he can save a single frame, which he hits, bringing his total number of frames saved to 5. In the turnaround room, he hits left a frame late, causing the room to scroll an extra 2 pixels, which brings his frames saved back down to 4. Had his D-pad left input been perfect, he could have saved another 2 to 3 frames depending on if the pipe entry and remaining rooms went well. As for the water room, there's not much that can go wrong in here, although it is possible to lose a frame or 2 if you touch the ground before the pipe too soon, which just leaves the Bowser room where as long as you know what the different patterns can do, you'll always be safe. In total, Niftski saved 4 frames, which means there's 18 frames left to save in the entire run, and all of them are in 8-4. Previously, there was an entire entire frame rule to save in 4-2, but Niftski was the first to implement the insane movement required for it into a world record with his 4:54.631, and he's done it again in his current record, which brings us to what's left to save in 8-4. In the first room, there's a single frame to save from getting a perfect fast accel, as Niftski only saved 4 of the 5 frames. But if you do an even more difficult fast accel, another frame can be saved, bringing the total to 2. In the wall jump room, an additional 3 frames can be saved over Niftski by doing more optimal fast accels, which save a frame each. The third frame comes from his current setup costing a frame, as it allows for an easier turnaround. So by implementing the more difficult fast accels, you can save an additional frame through efficiency. Room 3, or the turnaround room, has a whopping 11 frames left to save. Using the same fast accel as the TAS, you can save 2 frames. Then by doing a sub-speed manipulation when jumping over the pipe, you can save another frame as you come to a stop faster. By pressing left a frame earlier than Niftski, another 3 frames can be saved as the screen won't scroll as far. And to get moving towards the pipe faster for the turnaround, a reverse fast accel can be used to save another 5 frames. Since the water room has nothing left to save, the final room has the remaining 2 frames, where a fast accel can save 1 frame, but by doing a trick called a falling fast accel on the last frame you're touching the pipe, the final frame can be saved, for a grand total of 18. As each of these time saves gets implemented into the run, it becomes increasingly harder to achieve a new record. And the next one Niftski plans to go for is the reverse fast accel in the turnaround room to get back into the pipe, as since it's the trick with the most frames to save, it's currently the highest reward strategy to go for. Given all of the difficult tricks left to implement, you might think that a TAS tie is a long way from happening, but what if I said all of the clips I just showed you weren't from a TAS? In actuality, these are from an individual level run that Niftski did of 8-4, where he hit every trick the TAS uses to the frame, making him the second person to accomplish that feat after Lukuki, so a TAS tie could happen a lot sooner than anyone thinks. For now, we'll just have to wait and see when the next record is set as players push the speedrun towards ultimate perfection. So make sure to subscribe, as I can't wait to tell you about the next insane development in Super Mario Bros. But until then, check out Niftski's stream, and I hope to see you in the next exciting episode of Abyssoft Z.